I got up to the viewpoint. I made myself a cup of coffee, and I have a little battery pack, and I charged up the camera on it for a while. And there you can see the north side of Lough Erne. That's looking out towards the east, out towards Donegal and the Atlantic. You can actually see the Atlantic. That's across Boa Island and along the kind of north coast of Lough Erne. There you can see over towards Irvingstown. It really is a spectacular view. You can get an idea of scale from the houses there, just how far up you are. I'm pointing at something. There you can see the old v-strom there. So, all coffeeed up and rested. Just a wonderful view. It really is. It's one of the nicest views I've seen in Northern Ireland. And then the forest drive itself is lovely as well. The drive up to here, which I wasn't able to film, is very similar to obviously the drive that loops on round from here. They're very similar in character. It's a lovely new piece of tarmac as well. So even if you have a sports bike, you'll still be able to make it up at no problem at all. And if you had something like an enduro, there are enough wee side trails that I think you could disappear up, and nothing seemed to be barricaded off, so there's plenty of wee places that you could take a wee 250 or something up and have a bit of fun. I suspect you could probably do a bit of wild camping up here as well. There's enough places, it's kind of remote enough, and there are enough places in around here. I think you'd head up, park the bike up, throw a cover over it, maybe string up a hammock between a couple of trees. Look in there to the right, I'm sure you could nip in there somewhere and nobody would spot you. So that's the way in on the left hand side. Well, we're now heading out in kind of the loop. Again, it's just a beautiful single track forest drives one way, so you're not likely to get driven off the road by somebody coming in the wrong direction. And there's just vista after vista where you just come around a corner, you come out of some trees, just get a nice view. A couple of speed bumps along the way, but nothing too bad. Obviously this is forestry land where they're growing trees and planting young trees. And it's just a lovely, lovely view. You can see right out there. There's a speed bump. I think this is somewhere I'm definitely going to visit again. Again, as I said, I'd love to bring something like a hammock and just be nice and quiet and disappear off into a forest, string up a hammock, have a nice quiet night, head off again in the morning. There's other roads as well you could go. I didn't want to explore too much. Again, just look coming over the top of that hill and just a beautiful view. Craggy rock on your right. But you see that road up to the right, or up to the left there, sorry. I'm pretty sure you could head up there on a 250 enduro bike or something and have a blast up there and nobody would really care. There's another road. I had knobbly tyres on it, nearly tried the v-strom. There's lots of lovely little river, burns, creeks, I don't know what you call them. You call them a shock back home, but I think it's a river. Beautifully smooth tarmac. I'm surprised they haven't used it for a rally stage. Maybe they have, I don't know. So this is the Lough Navar Forest Drive. I can't recommend it highly enough. It really was a beautiful wee spot. Yeah, just another lovely view. So yes, once we come out of the forest drive, we'll be looking at getting back onto the shore road and then continuing along the shore road. That's basically the same road that we were able to look down on from the Maho viewpoint, and we'll be continuing along there with the cliffs on our left hand side and Lough Erne on our right. So now we are coming onto normal public road again. This, I guess, is the exit of the forest drive. So there could be oncoming traffic. And then we follow this road down and we'll rejoin the road that I was on that brought us up to the forest drive. Well, at least we'll be driving past the entrance, so I can kind of show you what the entrance looks like from the other side. It's fairly big, you'd be hard pressed to miss it. There's another forest in there to the right. Again, there's another area there I didn't have time to explore, but it'd be worth having a look at maybe. You can see up here on the left hand side, yes, this is it here. That's the entrance to the forest drive. Lough Erne Forest Drive. So that's the way in. You follow that up and there's a viewpoint there called the Achnameelan viewpoint, and it looks over the land to the east and also a little bit of the loch and a few other little lochs, and it gives a fantastic view as well, and it continues on round to the Maho viewpoint that I was able to show you there. So now I'm heading back along the road. I'm looking for a little crossroads, and there's a road to the left that'll take me out. I can kind of cut cross country and get to rejoin the shore road again. There's our little crossroads. This kind of caught me unawares. I wasn't really sure that there was going to be a junction here. So it's correct to turn left and then look for a little road on the right. I thought it was just a continuous road out. So there's the little road on the right. Again, I'm just following signs for the A46. Lovely church on the right now. And then this is us now rejoining the A46. And I have to say, this section of the A46 is a lovely bit of road. That is a nice looking corner there that we just rejoined just after, which is a bit of a shame. You can see we've got the loch on our right hand side, and there are plenty of fast sweeping twisty roads. This on sports bike or something, I'd imagine would be just fantastic. There's sections of it that I think you would complete, turn around, go back the other direction, and then turn around and do them a third time. And the whole time is just, you've got the large cliffs on your left hand side. There's some sections with new tarmac down. That's some new tarmac. And you've got the loch on the right, and it's just a lovely, lovely place. So we're kind of heading east at the minute, just on the south shore of Lough Erne. So we're very close now to the areas that we look down on from the cliffs up above. I think I could quite happily spend a few 2 or 3 days exploring around this area. There are so many kind of nice little bits, and there's a lot of them round tourist signs, points of interest that'd be worth going and exploring. There's at least 4 or 5 I can think of off the top of my head that I'd like to go and investigate to see what they're like. So that's kind of the point of these videos. I'd like to make some more videos kind of showing you video and some routes around Northern Ireland that'd be worth, certainly if you have a motorbike, it'd be well worth trying out. Places to see, places to go. So you can see the cliffs there on our left hand side. That's kind of where we were, and this is the road that we were overlooking. And it'd be nice to be able to go around and show people some of the different nice roads around this area, so that if you were coming, say, from Scotland or England or Wales or even further abroad, that you would have a bit of an idea. Oh, there's a road there I'd like to try, or there's something I'd like to go and see. So that's another lovely bit of tarmac. Getting that beautiful compression there just on the rise as you turn to the left. And imagine if you were hitting this a bit quicker, it'd be very, very satisfying to get it right. And beautiful smooth new tarmac as well. So unfortunately the battery ran out. So that was just going up around the kind of eastern side of Lough Erne to go around the north. The north coast of Lough Erne is beautiful as well. It's every bit as beautiful as the south. And then I rode across and eventually wound up in Fintona. And Fintona I stopped, got a packet of crisps, charged up the camera again, got another few percent into it and started recording again. Now, the drive from Fintona back across Tyrone towards Ballygawley is nowhere near as dramatic as the riding around Lough Erne, so in a way it's a shame the way the camera ran out of batteries, but there wasn't much I could do about it. But you'll get an idea of the flavour of the run from Fintona back to Ballygawley. It's mostly just farming land, so it is. These roads are now pretty much B roads from here on in. And they're sweepy enough. So they are, there's nothing wrong with them. Decent service, not an okay service. It's a bit bumpy, and there's the odd sharp corner like this one you just have to be a bit careful of, but that tightens up a lot more than you'd expect. Sure, I'm doing no speed anyway. And I'm just driving past both these guys, and I'm just thinking to myself, please, 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 don't turn on. Don't turn on. I do not need covered in slurry. So again, it's picturesque enough. The roads are pretty nice. They're reasonably busy, but otherwise fairly nondescript. Now this is the main road between Omagh and Ballygawley, so it's kind of the main road between Omagh and Belfast that we're now joining. So it's very busy, so it is. It's in around 4 o'clock at this stage, so it is starting to get towards kind of rush hour. So there's plenty of traffic about. Things get very slow in places. But eventually I arrived down into Ballygawley. This is the main hill going down into Ballygawley. And this is now, there's two roundabouts beside each other. There's the left-hand roundabout which we're approaching now, and the right-hand roundabout. And it's the roundabout to the right that you go across towards if you wanted to join the dual carriageway that turns into the motorway. But instead we're going to take the back road, take what's known as the old Dungannon Road. So this was the main road before the dual carriageway was finished. But nowadays it's a decent A road. It was a big main A road, but now it's not used very much. And it does have a nice lake beside it there. There's a wee place there you can stop in and have your picnic beside the main A road if you really want. But yeah, it's quite a quiet road now, but it's very fast. It's not nothing particularly twisty about it, but it's okay. In on the right there, see that brown sign? That'll take you to Andrew Jackson's house, Civil War general and President of the United States. And you can go in there and have a look around his cottage. So this is now where I'm joining the M1 again. I think it's still a dual carriageway at this point. I think that makes it the A4 or whatever. But it basically turns into the M1 about Dungannon. And this has these kind of awful little filter roads, so it has that kind of push you out into the carriageway. So then one of the problems I have is tinnitus. I have whistling in my ears, which means, and the problem is it's wind buffeting that causes it. Now unfortunately I need to stop here because there's a guy on the outside lane. I really couldn't kind of pull around these guys to get past them, so I had to kind of brake. Fortunately the battery died again.
Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully there'll be another video along soon.